The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, Manhattan. Good morning, America. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and you are plugged directly into the main artery of the resistance. You're listening to the Neuro Left, broadcasting live from the Panopticon. I'm looking out over Central Park right now, and I'm telling you, the fog is thick, but it is nothing compared to the absolute smog of disinformation coming out of the District of Columbia this morning.
Okay, honestly, Julian, the booming baritone at 8 a.m. is high-key aggressive. I haven't even checked my notifications yet, and I already feel like I'm being campaigned at. My screen time was 14 hours yesterday, which is a total flex, by the way, and I spent at least 6 of those watching the Empire enter its final flop era in real time.
Oh, Maya, if you aren't being campaigned at, you aren't breathing. I'm telling you, the energy today is electric. It's a heavy day. We have developments that are going to shake the foundations of the midterms. But first, we have to look back. Yesterday, we covered the U.S. ghosting the WHO, which was a disaster, and that Doge AI tool that's basically a digital guillotine for federal regulations.
No, literally, yesterday was so main character syndrome for the GOP. But today we start with Oregon, because Oregon is officially in its privacy shield era, and honestly, it slaps.
It is absurd that we even have to celebrate this, but let's get into it.
Okay, so the lead on this one is definitely me because it's about data privacy and the government being a total creep. Late yesterday, a federal judge in Oregon basically told the DOJ to go touch grass. They were trying to get their hands on the full unredacted voter rolls. I'm talking social security digits, birth dates, the works. And the judge issued a permanent injunction. Basically saying that the National Voter Registration Act is about transparency, not about giving the federal government a VIP pass to dox every voter in the state. The DOJ was pushing this non-citizen voting narrative after that 2024 DMV error.
Right.
But the court was like, no, that's actually a recipe for identity theft and vigilante auditing, which is just a fancy way of saying letting a bunch of weirdos on Telegram harass people at their houses.
Oh, spare me. The DOJ is acting like they're the only ones who can count. I mean, look, I've seen some overreach in my time. I've worked with the best fixers in the business. But this was a transparent attempt to build a national database of targets for the next election cycle. It is absurd.
High-key absurd. Secretary of State LaVon Griffin-Valade was basically like, privacy is the bedrock of democracy, which, period.
Look, it's a massive victory for Oregon, but it's a warning for the rest of us. They are coming for the data, Maya. But let's move to something even more litigious. Jury selection started today in Los Angeles for the big tech addiction trial.
Oh, you mean the big tobacco moment? No, literally. Meta, ByteDance, Alphabet, they are all in the hot seat, except for Snapchat, who settled for an undisclosed sum last week because they didn't want the smoke.
Right.
So this 19-year-old KGM, she's the lead plaintiff, she's arguing that these apps aren't just platforms, they're defective products. She developed severe depression and eating disorders because the algorithm was literally built to exploit her psychology.
It's about time.
And the legal strategy here is to bypass Section 230. They're saying we're not suing you for what people posted, we're suing you because the product itself is dangerous, like a car with no brakes. But honestly, Julian, I think you're being a bit chuggy about this. You think a jury of 12 people who probably still use Facebook is going to fix the entire internet infrastructure?
Excuse me? It's not chuggy to believe in accountability, Maya.
No, it's just naive. These companies have already integrated these hooks so deep into the API that a lawsuit is just a line item on their balance sheet. Unless we literally rewrite the code of the web, a jury trial is just vibes.
Oh, I strongly disagree. A jury is the only thing these people fear. You get a mother from the valley who watched her daughter stop eating because of Instagram filters. You put her on that stand, and I'm telling you, no amount of API integration is going to save Mark Zuckerberg's stock price. It's a return to institutional power.
Okay, but institutional power is kind of in its flop era too, right? While we're talking about lawsuits, look at Iran. The executioner judiciary is basically doing a speed run of the death penalty.
It is a slaughter. It is a systematic slaughter. The latest reports from human rights monitors in Karaj and Evin prisons, they are targeting student leaders and activists.
Right.
They've transitioned from shooting people in the street to legalistic murder, using charges like maharabe, enmity against God. It's high-octane autocracy.
No, literally, it's giving death cold. They're trying to decapitate the resistance leadership before the next wave of protests can even start. And it's so dark because the global community is just watching while our own DOJ is off playing with voter rolls. It's a global struggle against autocracy, but the vibes are very every empire for themselves.
Look, I've got to say this is where global solidarity has to mean something. We can't just talk about it on podcasts. It has to be a framework that rejects both the Iranian regime and the national security narratives here at home that want to turn everything into a carrier strike group deployment.
Bet. Okay, wait, we need to take a second because we have to talk about the people actually building this platform.
Look, we talk a lot about systems on this show, but we need to talk about labor. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of Eric Christensen.
Right.
He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please consider supporting Eric's work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
No, literally, Eric is the one holding it down. Okay, Julian, back to the grind. Let's talk about Louisiana, because Governor Jeff Landry is really doing the most to sabotage his own state.
Oh, I have the Black Book open for this one. Louisiana had a bipartisan success story in 2017, prison reform that actually worked. But Landry, he's basically decided that tough on crime is a better brand than functional economy.
Right.
He's virtually eliminated parole, and the data this week shows a 15% spike in the corrections budget.
Okay.
That's money coming directly out of public infrastructure and early childhood education. They are literally stealing from children to pay for more cages.
It's a labor gap, too. By keeping thousands of potential workers behind bars, mostly black men, they're just keeping the state in a permanent poverty trap. It's high-key economic sabotage disguised as safety.
It's absurd. And it's the same thing in Tennessee with the entrenched corruption there and the neglect of Pittsburgh. It's an architecture of inequality designed to keep the working class unbanked and powerless.
And don't even get me started on the medical side of this. The genomic psychiatry breakthroughs, it's like we're moving into an era where a corporate algorithm looks at your DNA to decide if you're worth the high-cost therapy.
Right?
It's psychiatric innovation for the 1% and thoughts and prayers for everyone else. Companies like 23andMe are basically just data harvesters now. If your genetic markers say you have a risk for bipolar, good luck getting a job or insurance in 5 years.
Oh, spare me the precision medicine marketing. It's biological enclosure. It's turning our very DNA into a luxury commodity. Julian needs a hit of oxygen for this next one. The midterm strategy.
Julian is taking his Puro too, so I'll lead. The GOP is pivoting to economic populism. They've ditched the Reagan trickle-down talk because it's mid and nobody buys it.
Uh-huh.
Now they're attacking predatory corporations and globalist elites while launching these God tech apps, literally parallel economy apps for faith-based digital lives.
Right?
It's high-key a digital bunker. If you only bank, shop, and post on God tech, you never have to hear a single fact that disagrees with your village worldview. It's a total insulation strategy for the 2026 midterms.
It is the most cynical piece of political theater. They use the rhetoric of the people to push the agenda of the administrative state smashers. Ilhan Omar is out there trying to dismantle it, but it's a heavy lift when you're fighting a parallel reality. But look, we have to talk about our main story. We have to talk about the ocean.
No, literally. We're in our ecological collapse era and we're just vibing. A group of international researchers just released this meta-study in Nature Sustainability, and it is a total wake-up call. We are failing the oceans because of paper parks.
Explain that to me, Maya. What is a paper park?
It's a park that only exists on paper. Okay, we're technically on track for the 30 by 30 target, protecting 30% of the ocean by 2030, but the study says governments are just cherry-picking remote, low-conflict areas where nobody was even fishing anyway.
Right.
It's like saying you've protected 30% of your house, but it's just the attic and the crawl space, while the kitchen and the living room are on fire.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's all performance. It's theatrical conservation.
Exactly. 70% of protected waters are in these remote spots, while the coastal shelves, where 90% of marine life actually lives, are totally exposed to industrial fishing. Less than 5% of the migratory ecological corridors for whales and tuna are actually protected.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just the where, it's the what, specifically phosphorus.
The phosphorus runoff. I saw this in the brief, and it's absurd that we don't talk about this more. It's basically chemical mismanagement on a global scale.
Right. Phosphorus runoff from farms is creating these massive dead zones. But the study says it's not just a farm issue anymore. It's a national water security issue. We're treating our agricultural runoff like it's just nature, but it's literally poisoning the commons.
Look, it's the same logic as the social media trial, isn't it? It's a defective product problem. We've designed an industrial food system that produces toxins as a byproduct, and we're just letting the oceans absorb the cost.
No, literally. And the 30 by 30 target is being
being used as a populist veil by governments to look like they're doing something while they actually protect the interests of the industrial trawlers. They pick the easy spots to hit their numbers and then ignore the strategic MPAs, the high biodiversity coastal zones, because those are high conflict. Meaning they don't want to fight with corporations. It's the residual protection trap. We protect what's left over, not what's vital.
It is absolutely infuriating. We are talking about the very life support systems of the planet, and we're playing accounting games with the acreage. I mean, I've seen some creative accounting in my time at the DNC, but this is accounting for extinction.
It's high-key scary. The recommendation is to pivot to these strategic MPAs and a Blue Belt initiative, which would actually focus on the coastal shelf. But that requires actual political courage, which is lacking in this cycle.
Right.
And we're running out of time. Biodiversity collapse by 2030 isn't a maybe anymore. It's a when if we don't change the geography of protection. We're protecting the desert while the reefs are dying.
It's the ultimate expression of our current political moment, isn't it? We value the quantity of the metric, the percentage point, the poll number, over the quality of the outcome. We want to say we hit 30%, but we don't want to do the hard work of actually stopping a single industrial vessel from strip mining a coral reef.
Bet. And then we have the nerve to wonder why the water is green and the whales are ghosting us. The phosphorus management thing is the key because it links the land to the sea. It's all one system, but we're treating it like separate browser tabs.
Separate browser tabs? Maya, that's it. We are living in a multi-tab crisis, and we don't have enough RAM to process the reality of it.
No, literally. We need to Control-Alt-Delete the current approach to environmental protection, because paper parks aren't going to provide oxygen for the planet.
Look, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the courtrooms of LA to the depths of the coastal shelf, and the message is always the same. The system is designed to protect itself, not us, and certainly not the planet.
Right. It's up to us to ratio the narrative.
Stay indignant, Manhattan. Stay sharp, because if we don't fight for the quality of our democracy and our ecology, we're going to be left with nothing but paper stats and toxic water.
Bet. Go touch some grass, but check for phosphorus first. Bye.
This is the Neuro Left. Good night and good luck. I'm telling you, Maya, that phosphorus point, I'm using that for the Vance speech next week. It's brilliant.